Can you name one lesson or idea from abroad that's helped you or your colleagues?
So list of inspirations is very long, but my favorite example comes from 10 years ago when I was working in the Ministry of Justice, and we were inspired by our Portuguese colleagues, and we used the experience to create our online system for creating companies. Today, this is a mainstream service used by a majority of businessmen who want to create a company, and so this is very popular. But I think the biggest lesson for me from this example was that you hardly ever copy exact solution, but actually you take the idea and make it work even better at your with your own solution.
And do you have an example of when you made the idea work better for you?
Well, because this Portuguese solution was inspiration, but actually I'm quite sure. I mean, I'm quite sure that actually our system today works in more convenient way. Because in Portugal, the idea was usually that you could buy shell companies, but in Estonian case, you can actually create a company from the scratch and design it as you wish.
Mm-hmm. Are there any projects or innovations in your country that might be valuable to your peers overseas?
I would bring two examples. First is internet voting. This is a system that no other country has succeeded to take over. So actually it's quite sophisticated, but it's also very secure. Estonian citizens have enjoyed already 10 years this privilege to vote at the elections using an internet solution, which is secure, and we have done it already 8 times. And the interesting fact is that it's not kind of marginal solution, but at the latest elections, already 30% of our voters used this online solution. Second solution, which is a more recent project, is e-residency, and it comes from this idea as a country as a service. And the idea is to for Estonia to provide digital identities for non-residents, and the business case in this solution is that particularly businessmen who want to make business in Europe, they can get digital identity from Estonia, use Estonian e-government ecosystem, and operate their activities in Estonia, but also in European Union.
Mm-hmm. How can we improve the ways in which senior public officials work with and learn from their peers overseas?
Well, in this case, I prefer kind of a holistic approach, and I think this expectation that we should network and learn from the others. This expectation applies to all public servants. So, I mean, in this case, this habit is already in the DNA of public officials, which means that also future senior public officials will do it not because they are trained to do so, but because it's a way how it's normal to operate and to work.
So you think it's already happening across the board?
Yes, it's kind of this rhetoric and ideology and expectations that that learning from others is okay, and we should spread also our experience. But this should be kind of a normal thing to do, not something that you kind of learn on the project basis.
What are the global challenges within your field over the next 5 years?
Well, it's not probably surprising, but it is digitalization, but not just digitalization, but to develop user-friendly digital services in public sector. And it is particularly difficult and challenging. I don't know, is it because we are not able to hire sufficiently talented people, or because we are used to work in silos? But I think also in public services, paying attention to user friendliness and user experience is becoming more and more important. So just having digital service is not anymore enough.
Mm-hmm. And finally, what is your favorite book and why?
I don't have a particular favorite book. There are many books I have found useful. Currently, I'm reading a book titled The Future of Profession. It's written by father and son of Sunstein. And why I like this book is that today's challenge for the government is to adopt technologies, be it for the improved public services, be it for the satisfaction of its citizens, or be it for increased productiveness of its economies. But actually, all this technological change will have its impact in a long perspective. And as we know, then for the governments to be ready for long-term challenges is particularly difficult. So why I like this book is that it will actually it describes actually the impact that technologies will have on societies, and this helps for the governments to be ready for the long-term challenges.
Mm-hmm. Margus Sarapuu, thank you very much.
Thank you.